cannot overestimate how important it is to be inspired and to have someone to look up to. And unfortunately, in a lot of Black and Hispanic communities, there's just not a lot of role models that we can emulate. You just don't see some of the great business people in the community. And I know you're trying to change that. And I know Facebook is trying to change that. And I was really excited when I saw that Sheryl Sandberg announced that by 2023, Facebook would reach 1 million Black members in the community and 1 million members of the Hispanic community with this great program, Elevate. Like, I was really excited. And then I found out, you were heading it up. So will you tell everybody about Elevate and how it's free training in digital skills, which is needed now more than ever?
Absolutely, be happy to. So I was living in Oakland in 2018, and I had gone to school in the area and had seen how West Oakland, Oakland, Berkeley, South Berkeley, all of that area was predominantly sourced by local small businesses. And you're right, Henry, when we talk about seeing role models and having them, it's important for our communities and for our younger generations to see the accomplishments. And it is a big accomplishment for anyone who starts a business, small. And I always say this, every large business started as a small business. So that is a role model. But imagine if in Oakland and these areas of the Bay Area that I was in, they start to disappear. And they're disappearing because the rents are getting so much more expensive, and gentrification happens where they're not able to compete any longer. So where does that leave our kids? Where does that leave the next generation if they don't have these role models to see the courage it takes to build a business? So as I started to see all of the restaurants and shops starting to disappear in that area, I thought, well, I work at Facebook. I'm training engineers on how to use these platforms to advertise businesses. There's got to be a way I can also help these Black and brown business owners on how to use it too, because I want them to be as equally as successful as anyone else. But I also realized that there's been a time lapse where endemic to our culture, we haven't had access to it. Again, bringing back Ivory Man. How do we bring access back into the community so that they have a way to succeed economically, and then they can stay in the area, and then our generations, our future generations, can see the promise of what it looks like to grow a business and to be successful. Now, our history with working with clients is we see the success. We see billion-dollar companies who are using advertising wisely, and yet that's something that's missing from our community very often. So I decided to put a call out to other employees at Facebook to see if they wanted to help me just put on a workshop for the Bay Area and just to see where it would go. It was not a company-initiated initiative. It was really employee-generated, Henry, which I say is unique because no one told us to do this, but we decided to do it and to give back. And we had no expectations from anyone. You didn't have to spend a cent with us. And you've heard me say this many times before too. You don't have to spend another dime with Facebook, but just recognize that the same types of skills we are trying to teach you, you can use them on any other digital platform available. I've worked at Yahoo, I've worked at Pandora Media, I've worked at all these companies. It's really the same game. Once you nail it, you can use it anywhere. And that's our goal. We just want you to be successful no matter where you are and whatever you use. And we incented people. We said, in fact, to prove it, we're going to give you money to create new ads as you go through this training with us. So as we created this free training, and because we've worked together for the past few years, traveling around the country to help Black and brown businesses really learn how to use the system to get good at it and then become very strongly and economically viable. And in our program, we provide free training, as you mentioned. We provide a group so that you have a network of support, but also within that group, you get special opportunities to have someone internally at Facebook be a mentor to you and to help you and other like-minded businesses understand how to use the system. How should you spend your money? How can you use your budget? What are the types of buttons and functionality that are important for anyone to consider? So we provide that, and also additional coaching as well. So we're trying to deeply engage with these businesses because we understand that it's not just a one-time deal. And as mentioned before, there's been a lapse in time and education and ramp up. We also want to hit the younger generation as well and train them earlier so that if they want to start businesses, this becomes normal for everyone. So no one feels intimidated by using an online advertising or if they're doing it incorrectly. So when Cheryl was behind us creating this lofty goal, could we train this many people? She was all behind it. She was for it. And she admired the fact that we all came together and created a program and could travel around the country and make it culturally relevant. That's important, as I come from also a training background where it's got to be relevant to me. I have to see myself. And you mentioned this too. You have to see role models. So we start to highlight small businesses that are really building something innovative, doing something different, not afraid to use the platform in the way it can be intended. And for us to use it, we see that Black and Latinx users of our products are more engaged than non-minorities on our platform. So if we can just give these extra skills, Henry, just for them to get it and to play with it and not be afraid, we know that these businesses can really succeed. It is really possible. And that's what we're just trying to instill back into everyone. It is possible for you to be economically viable and strong using Facebook or whatever other platform there is out there.